All right, Ashley, what's our final email of the day?
Last one is from Anthony. Greetings. Some very reputable sites are reporting that the Obi-Wan project is now moving to the Disney streaming service with a 6-episode series. This seems like a perfect way to tell the story of Obi-Wan's journey in the desert watching over Luke. Curious who the villain will be. We know Vader and the Emperor are out there. Or could this be a perfect time to bring back Darth Maul? Love the show and love to hear your thoughts.
All right, so let's be clear about this. So there is a story going around that, we've been talking for a while about there possibly being an Obi-Wan movie, and there was even talk that a director was attached and all this kind of stuff. So now there's a story making the rounds that the Obi-Wan project has morphed from a movie project into a television Disney Plus streaming service, 6-episode, I believe is what they're saying, miniseries kind of thing with Obi-Wan. Now, while a lot of people are reporting it, again, like I always tell you guys, follow the source. What's the source? It all comes from one place. All of these sites that are reporting it are all getting that information from one place. And that one place is a Star Wars site called Star Wars Newsnet, I believe is the name of it. And they're pretty reputable, for a Star Wars fan site, they are a pretty reputable site. Now, it doesn't mean everything they say is going to be gospel truth, not at all, so take it with a grain of salt. But just understand, it's not like there's a bunch of reputable sites reporting it. It's that a bunch of sites are running with the story that comes from Star Wars Newsnet. And again, I think it's valid that they run those stories because Star Wars Newsnet is fairly reputable, so that's fine. So just keep that in mind. There's a grain of salt there that it all comes from one place. The other thing is, what is the likelihood of this being, factually true? Is it a good idea to go miniseries route as opposed to movie? I'll tell you this, I have two different answers, Rob. On the one hand, I don't like it. I am a movie fan first. I really wanted to see this on the big screen. I wanted to see Ewan McGregor, and I wasn't big on the idea for a long time, but a lot of you guys, the viewers, have convinced me over the past couple of years that this could actually be pretty interesting and pretty good, and you've won me over. You've won me over. You got me excited about the notion of Ewan McGregor coming back as Obi-Wan. Because there is a very interesting period of time there between when we see him going to Tatooine at the end of Revenge of the Sith and when we meet up with him again in Star Wars A New Hope. There's a huge amount of time there and a lot of adventures he could have got himself in, believing himself to be the final Jedi in the universe, which we now know because of Rebels and everything he wasn't, but that's what we thought. So there's a lot of stuff there, good stuff you could do there. Now, I don't like it as a fan, but at the other time, it does make sense that you do this thing as a Disney Plus sort of thing. Look, Disney is clearly all in. They're not playing around, guys. They're taking all of their chips and pushing them into the middle, the poker analogy, ladies and gentlemen, pushing all of their chips into the middle of the table on this Disney Plus thing. Because when they say, hey, you like Loki? Loki series. You like that Scarlet Witch? How about a Vision and Scarlet Witch? You like Winter Soldier and Falcon? How about a buddy cop kind of series with these guys? And now they're talking about an Obi-Wan thing, and we've already got The Mandalorian coming. We've already got the Cassian Andor series coming. And now this would be a third high-profile thing if they did it. It doesn't seem to make sense to have Darth Maul a part of it because of the continuity stuff with Rebels. We already know that Darth Maul and Obi-Wan ultimately did confront each other again for just a moment. So that doesn't make sense there. I think you could do a lot of things. I think you could have Obi-Wan trying to maintain justice on Tatooine against, Jabba the Hutt and his crime syndicate. You could have him going off-world to do a couple things. Just because he was on Tatooine doesn't mean he was there 24/7 for 30 years, right? So I think there's a lot of possibilities there. Anyway, Rob, you hear about this, and you hear that they could do this. Number one, do you like the idea of it going to like a 6-episode series on Disney Plus? And then, just in general, do you like the idea of them doing a story like this at all?
Well, first of all, what's so cool about this idea is you get Ewan McGregor, who played Obi-Wan in 3 Star Wars movies, to come back. And I thought that they should have done this Obi-Wan idea before they did Solo, because you would ease into the Star Wars stories with characters that we already know.
Totally agree.
Using the original actor. And you're like, wow, look. One of my favorite things I saw in 2018 was the BBC series Bodyguard with Richard Madden that's on Netflix. And that was a 6-episode show, and it kicked unholy ass. And I'm like, bring on. The thing is, Disney, when you said very astutely that they're all in, we're going to get the same production value that you get from a Star Wars movie with these shows. They're going to be epic. I'm sure The Mandalorian is going to be epic, but doing a 6-episode, what's great is you're going to get a 6-hour Star Wars movie, essentially. Yes, it'll be airing on Disney's streaming service, but like with this season of Star Trek Discovery, they're shooting Discovery with the aspect ratio of Star Wars, with widescreen, with 235 or 239 to 1. And television is moving. It's going to be very indistinguishable, especially if you have a big television set, from the movies. And I love this idea. I hope it's true. I'm sure it probably is true, because one of the great things is people are bitching and moaning and complaining about Kathleen Kennedy and I hate The Last Jedi and whatever. But I think we're going to see a Star Wars renaissance. Not that we needed one, but there's going to be a Star Wars renaissance on Disney Plus, and we're going to be getting Star Wars stories the likes of which we never thought possible. But we're going to get them.
And the talent you've got involved, like going to the Disney Plus thing, I mean, clearly they're going all out because we've got this Mandalorian. You got Jon Favreau. You got Dave Filoni, that a lot of Star Wars fans love. So he's producing and directing a couple of the episodes. Kathleen Kennedy producing it and greenlighting the whole thing. You've got a tremendous cast already involved there. Taika Waititi, Bryce Dallas Howard, Cary Fukunaga. You've got, I mean, they just lined up so much. And then going with Cassian Andor. And, I mean, he's just coming off of Narcos Mexico, which, so his star is really bright right now. So you can have this Cassian Andor thing, an Obi-Wan thing. Now, I'm still going to hold out hope this is a movie. I'd rather see this on the big screen in the movie theaters. I will, but I got to admit, it's not a bad idea if you do this thing.
What's interesting is if they're going to do 6 hours, why not just shoot the thing all at once, Lord of the Rings style, and release 3 movies?
Sure, they would. Well, they have been. Well, I mean, yeah. Okay, you got me. But they are shooting it all at once, obviously. But
yeah, but I mean, do it as a movie. Like, you know what? They might even leave. Although, look, they want to build. They're very smart. The best way to build up Disney Plus is to make Star Wars and Marvel material and use the people from the movies. I mean, that's what they've got. William Shatner's manager used to say that the key to success in Hollywood is to have King Kong. You got to figure out. You got to have King Kong to show the public. And Disney has King Kong twice. They've got Star Wars and the MCU now, and they just have to keep rolling that stuff out and give it to us, because we will drink it all up. I will drink the milkshake that Disney is giving me.
Yeah, I mean,
drink it all up.
Who's not going to sign up for this thing? I mean, we'll see. We'll see how this all goes. All right, guys, with all that stuff out of the way, let's now move